Preparations for the elections continue unabated. Politicians may be reassessing their strategy ahead of the new dates chosen by the Commission. But will the PVC collection still be an issue before the elections? Will the security challenge be confined to our history books? How will logistics be handled at the end of the day? Well, these are some of the issues many will keep an eye on in the weeks ahead. Good evening. Welcome to Nigeria 2015. I'm Chamberlain Oso. It promises to be a very interesting few weeks ahead. They're laced with permutations, postulations, even conspiracy theories. And they won't go away with a wave of hand. What will be the next move and who will make it? Well, the electorate certainly would like to know all of those facts. Well, our correspondents will bring you up to the minute concerning developments happening at their location.
Yemi Kosoko from Jos in Plateau State, as we take a look at the update of the permanent voter cards issue as it unfolds on the plateau.
We'll bring you some others in the course of time, but don't forget that our web team are also on standby to provide several platforms for you to air your views on the program. You can tweet at us using the hashtag Nigeria2015. Well, please use the Twitter handle you see on your screen. Well, if you have comments or questions, do send us an email. That will be Nigeria2015@channelstv.com. Well, joining us tonight, Dr. Isuwa Dogo, a member of the People's Democratic Party and a political scientist. Ms. Idowa Janaku is a media strategist for Ambode Campaign Organization. And on Skype, Oluwole Osaze Uzi is the Director, Voter Education for the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Well, they will speak to us today about the subject in focus. Well, the collection of the PVCs continue to generate more talking points even as the days go by. Well, although the Commission has extended the date for the collection of PVCs to the 8th of March this year. Let's go ahead, take you just a little back in time concerning what has been said in some quarters about the distribution of the permanent voter card. Now, INEC only recently released a new figure about the distribution of the permanent voter cards across the country. And we'll go ahead and bring you now some of those figures as INEC has them. Well, don't forget, this is the figure of the total number of registered voters in the country, 68,833,476. Completely different from that of last year because that data or that register had been subjected to what they call AFIS, cleaned it up, and then they arrived at this figure. Beyond this figure, because it's not all of those that have collected their permanent voter cards. Now, this is the latest figure that the Commission has released about those who have been able to get their permanent voter cards as we speak. 47,965,851 people at the moment have been able to collect their permanent voter cards as INEC updated us recently with this figure. In percentages, this is what it looks like. It will pop up in a minute. Concerning those who have been able to collect their permanent voter cards, comes down to 67.64% of the total number of registered voters have been able to get their PVCs. Just a little over 68 million, remember that. So now, this figure is those who have collected it. But the next one you see is the outstanding ones. INEC spoke about all of those, and that's why you have this window. Partly, they've extended that date, as I said at the opening sequence. Now, you've got over 20 million, precisely 20,867,625 permanent voter cards are going to be distributed with this remaining window that INEC has opened up and given that extension so that those who haven't collected it, all of this, hopefully, even though they argue, you may not be able to achieve 100%, but whatever they get at the end of the day, they will tell us and we will bring them or bring you that information as we get them. And so that is a figure of those who have been able to collect and those who are hoping they will get their permanent voter cards. But in spite of all of this, you have some permanent voter cards that were stolen Yes, surprising to a lot of people. Some of those were stolen, and then many wonder what becomes of those permanent voter cards. Why are they going ahead to steal them? 1.1 million permanent voter cards have been stolen. That's the figure the Commission gives to us. And even though the Commission has said time and again, well, those who have taken this 1.1 million, first of all, they're making plans to replace them, perhaps within this window. That should happen. And so when they do replace them, whoever has stolen anyone cannot use them, as the Commission has said. But we'll also hope to hear perhaps them reinforce that message when we speak to the man in charge of voter education with the Commission when he does join us today on the program. Speaking about the PVCs, the members of the House of Reps spoke about the permanent voter cards. Remember at the time when there was this hue and cry? When he first started, there were a lot of people who went to different zones, different INEC offices in various states. Public holidays were also declared, I might add, at those times to ensure that people get some of these materials. But the House of Reps spoke up, and you know what they said? They spoke about the temporary voter cards. They thought, most of them, that how will people get disenfranchised if they go ahead and use the PVCs alone? They thought and suggested, too, that perhaps INEC should allow those who have the temporary voter cards also vote. They went ahead and cited cases in point. What you see, they cited the 1999 Constitution concerning that resolution, which we'll bring to you in the course of the programming. But they spoke about it on the floor of the House. Let's even go ahead and take you precisely to what they said at the time in this video.
The House also considered a motion on the permanent voters' cards being issued to Nigerians.
The House concerned that the general elections being just 4 weeks or 30 days from now, it is very unlikely that the Commission will be able to distribute the permanent voters' cards to all registered and eligible voters before the elections. Disturbed that if the current position of the Commission, that only voters with permanent voters' cards are qualified to vote, if that is not addressed, many registered and eligible voters will be disenfranchised in the 2015 general elections to the detriment of the growth of our democracy.
The motion sought to have INEC include in its guidelines for the elections a provision allowing registered voters with temporary voters' cards to vote in the elections.
Those in support of the motion.
The motion also passed without a debate.
Those against, please say nay.